Was named ELLE's Star Reporter of the Year back in 2012 and has been on the rise ever since. Born and raised in Kimberley, the Diamond City, through his photography and blog, he always tries to remain as authentic as possible. Our producer, Thapelo Muwela, caught up with him and she started by asking him to define what a multimedia artist is.
A multimedia visual artist is someone that has multi-collaborative skills within the creative space. So I am a photographer, filmmaker, creative director, and just an all-round creative.
Did you always wanted to be a multimedia artist, or is it something that came about recently after you finished your schooling career?
I can never ever remember a time when creativity was not part of my life. It has always been something that I've immersed myself in. And I come from a very small town, Kimberley, and growing up in a small town, you obviously have limited resources, and that kind of reminds you, or rather highlights your talent and your skills at a very early age, because that's what you rely on. And I was fortunate enough to be within that space and to have like-minded friends who had the same vision and who had the same point of view as me, and that point of view was always to create. It has been one of the most exciting journeys I've embarked on. It's actually the only journey I know, and it has been a journey of growth, self-growth, and I guess personal exploration, and just a better understanding, getting a better understanding of who I am, where I come from, and what value I have to offer to the world.
For someone who travels a lot, how has that changed your perspective and how you view pictures, or how you view the world as a whole?
Yeah, I think within traveling, you can never ever see the world the same, or even where you come from. It changes your point of view, and it somehow brings you closer to home, and that's why I kind of focus my lens more on Africa, and Africa at large, because that's home for me. It's not just about being from South Africa, or rather just calling yourself African without traveling Africa. And I guess just having had traveled, that has brought me closer to home, and that has kind of advised as to how I see the world and how I see beauty.
And I know I first heard of your work when I saw your home exhibition. Can you tell us about that? What was the inspiration behind that?
So Home was my first solo exhibition, and it was just about investigating the concept of what home means and how our bodies are our first homes, yet the most unfamiliar and unoccupied spaces, and how I found home within places outside of my own home. And within that, I also wanted to explore how, as Africans, we need to kind of be at home with ourselves, and for us to be at home with each other. And that's why I kind of crossed the border to Namibia and also shot some stuff in KwaNdebele, which was the homecoming of the Amasogana initiates. So it was about just bringing two different cultures together and celebrating that.
You've worked with big names such as Terry Peter. How has that contributed to your career? Has it helped you grow? Or?
It has definitely been has played a pivotal role in my career, and just in refining my taste as well. Like, she's one of the greatest tastemakers, and she has exposed me to, like, I remember my first trip to New York, for example, was